In statistics, the null hypothesis is a statement that assumes there is no significant relationship between two variables or no difference between groups being compared two or three variables. It is a starting point for statistical tests, and the aim of hypothesis testing is to either reject or not reject, fail to reject this null hypothesis. In language teaching, null hypothesis can be used to test the effectiveness of language learning methods or the relationship between language proficiency and certain factors. So we have a look at this example? A null hypothesis in language teaching could be that there is no significant difference in the language proficiency of students who learn English in a traditional classroom versus those who learn through online platform. So in this example, we try to compare if the student who learn English from the traditional classroom, we compare with online platform. For example, today we learn from Google Meet, for example. But actually we don't learn English, we learn something else, right? So the null hypothesis assumes that there is no significant difference in language proficiency between two groups. It means that the student either they learn in the traditional classroom or they learn from the online platform. The results are the same. If the results are the same, the null hypothesis is not rejected. A researcher could then collect data from both groups and analyze using statistical. For example, he used the pre-test, post-test for two groups, right? At the beginning, before the training, so he make pre-test for two group, control group, and then the experimental in the platform. And after training, the same teaching method, traditional, he used the same teaching method, online platform, the same teaching method, just different platform. And after training for one course, he will make another post-test to see if the pre-test and post-test are the same or different between the two groups. A researcher could then collect data from both groups and analyze, collect the pre-test and post-test to see if reject or accepted the null hypothesis. If the null hypothesis is rejected, mean that there is evidence of significant difference in language proficiency between the two groups. It means that the alternative hypothesis were supported that there is a significant difference. For example, if the post-test of the two groups, when we compare, the student in the online platform increase their score significantly, and then the null hypothesis reject. But if the result of post-test are the same, no significant difference, so the null hypothesis is not rejected, and then two platforms are the same, right? So that is for the null hypothesis. So when you do research, the null hypothesis is important to see, but actually it depends on the purpose of your study. Sometimes it is not always the null hypothesis should be rejected, but it depends on the purpose of your hypothesis. For example, recently I just conduct a research to see if collaborative writing between the traditional classroom and online classroom are different. So the null hypothesis, no different. The alternative hypothesis is significant different. But actually, when I found that there is no significant difference, means that the null hypothesis is not rejected. However, there is a finding there that the quality of teaching online is the same as the quality of teaching offline. This is reject many literatures finding that the people prefer learning in the traditional because they suppose that learning online is not as effective or not as qualified as learning offline. Offline, they can meet the teacher, they can ask the teacher, they can do everything offline. But actually, online might is significant, is the same of improvement. So, in that situation, the null hypothesis not rejected, but it has the meaning. So the null hypothesis mostly we need we plan to reject it, but in some cases if it is not rejected it still has some meaning if we can find the findings. Okay.